All right. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So, thank you guys so much for being here with us today. If you're watching the recording, thank you for watching this. A couple of things that I want to first talk about whenever we are going to be sharing is I have a couple of other coaches on our team that are going to be sharing their story, kind of some fears and apprehensions that they had before they got started. And then just kind of talk about like what we do as a coach, what are some of those basic steps that a new coach does so that they can see success in their first month, hopefully in their first 10 days in being a coach and really get in that habit of, really being able to help people. And then we're going to talk about how we earn income, what the investment is to get started as a coach, and a little bit of my story also. So I want to kind of start there is just kind of share a little bit of my story, how I got started, why I got started coaching, and how this kind of came into my life. So I'm going to kind of take us all the way back to whenever I was 24, because that's really kind of where I believe God put this feeling inside of me, basically. So whenever I was 24, I went through a really difficult time in my life. I was separated from my husband, who kind of just literally came home from work one day and was like, we need to talk. I'm moving out. This is just not really working. I don't know if I love you anymore. And I can talk easily about it now because I'm on the other end. But at the time, if you can imagine, your husband, who you had this like crazy big dreams with, said that, it was just like gut wrenching. And I felt super embarrassed. I felt very like alone in all of that. And while I was going through that, I started kind of realizing just like how, like who I was as a person. And so I had lost 30 pounds, which I didn't like. I was literally at my size I am now, minus 30 pounds. So I was like bones. I was so thin, but like the stress and that type of stuff just did not work for me. And I realized that that's how I deal with stress and emotional things, is that I have no appetite. But oddly, I had this kind of like drawing to build my relationship with Jesus, because I literally had no other outlet. Nothing made me feel like things were going to turn out okay, except for, just sitting down and praying and figuring out like where my hope was going to lie now in my life. And through all of that, like I had this like itching in my feeling that, or like in my heart, that like I was created for something kind of bigger, that God wouldn't put that trial in my life without using it for some kind of positive, for some kind of good, to inspire others. So kind of fast forward 3 years from then, and I was single girl living it up, had my own apartment. I thought I was on top of the world, living the paycheck to paycheck life, but I was doing it on my own. And so I was teaching, but felt very like stuck in kind of my day-to-day life. Like I would teach, I would come home, take a nap because I was exhausted, go to the gym, come home, watch TV, recycle over and over and over again. And that feeling of like being meant for more, or like having something that I needed to be doing that had this kind of like, I don't know, like a bigger cause. I wanted to be part of something bigger than myself, than my little day-to-day life of what was happening. And for some reason, like teaching was not filling that void at the time. I can't really explain why, because I like almost feel guilty that I saying that teaching didn't feel this like purpose in my life, but it just wasn't for me. And that's my story. And so I'm kind of like trying to own that story at the same time. And I was told by a college friend that I'd be really good at what she was doing. And I had no idea what she was doing. I had never heard of Beachbody. She was like throwing out names of trainers like Shaun T and this person and Chalene Johnson and Autumn Calabrese. And I was like, I don't know who those people are. Like, that's great that you are doing that. I don't know what that is. And that's creepy to me that I don't know who those people are or what that is. So I was like, and not for me. I'm good. I don't do network marketing. I don't do sales. I don't want to be that girl, is basically what I told her. And so for 9 months, all she did was just fill my life with positivity. I watched her journey as she progressed, as she helped women every month, as she was changing. Her skin was like flawless. I was like, what are you doing? Like, I kept noticing like these changes in her body, this changes in her confidence, these changes in like her happiness, really. And she's kind of one of those girls who's like a no BS kind of person. So I knew if she was doing it, it was going to be legit, because she's not someone who like falls for scams. She's not someone who just like jumps in something and jumps out and jumps in. Like, that just was not her personality. Like, she very much rode her reputation on like who she was, what she believed in. And so I started kind of just watching and being like, this is interesting. Like, I was just interested. So I joined a peak kind of like this, got a little bit of information, and still at that peak, I wasn't super convinced. But during it, they said, if you could inspire just one person, literally one person, that's all that you do with your coaching journey, who would it be and why? And I literally remember I was curling my hair, getting ready for work that day, and I just like started bawling, because I had had so many moments in the couple of months leading up to that moment where I was with my mom, and I just noticed this change in her. Her energy was lower. She just didn't seem as happy. Like, I could just tell that she just wasn't fully living her life. And a lot of that was because of her health, because of her eating habits, because she would, come home and watch TV, and that was, her life. And I knew that she wanted more. And so I kept thinking, all right, if I'm going to inspire her, I'm going to have to inspire all of these other women, because I'm going to have to prove to her that this does work and it can work for her. So it's not going to be just like small girls, getting abs. Like, it had to be a variety of women that I was going to help. And through that, I am happy to say that she now checks in with me since the new year. It took some time, but she's now checking in with me. So happy that she has energy, happy that she's losing 4 or 5 pounds a week. And I'm like, hell yes, Mom, that is awesome. And it feels so good to see that, like, it's not only changing other women's life, but it's changing my life and my family's life. So with that, I'm going to kind of throw it over to Lisa. She's going to share a little bit about her story and a couple of fears that she had when she got started also.
Hello, can you hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay. I have not so good internet out here in the country, so just always want to make sure of that. Okay, so my name is Lisa. I have been a coach for a year and a half now, and it has truly been, cliche as it may sound, one of the best decisions I could have ever made in my entire life. So my story, when I was getting started, I was actually, for about 5 months prior to becoming a coach, I was actually working with a different network marketing company. And it was one of those that, and I was successful. I had made some extra money off of it. Little backstory, I am a teacher. So I've always known that there would likely be something else that I would be doing, that I would be working so that I could help my family. Teachers don't make a lot of money. That's not a shocker to anybody. So always in the back of my mind, I had thought, like, what's something else that I can be doing? What's something else that I can be doing that can help my family in the future? And so I kind of had my eye out for either working some sort of a part-time job, but I love the idea of doing something that I could do on my own time. I've always been someone who's been interested in like fitness and health. I've played sports since I was 4 years old. I played softball in college. So I've been there and done all those things. But the difference is when you're playing sports and practicing every single day, you can eat whatever you want and you don't really have to worry about it. And when you stop playing those sports and you keep eating that same way, things are a little different. And so I was in grad school and had gained quite a bit of weight. And like I said, through all of that, I was about ready to graduate, about ready to become a teacher. I had lost any focus I had on my health and fitness, wasn't eating good at all. Grad school was stressful. That is my excuse. And then I was about to become a teacher. I had tons of student loan debt. And I was like, I'm going to have to do something. So joined up with this other company. And it was one of those things that I was like, I don't want to be a salesperson. And I said that getting started. But ultimately, the company that I was with, that's what it was, selling products. You try to get people to purchase the products that you used. And I was a fan of the product at the time. I would never be someone who pushes a product that I don't believe in. However, so I enjoyed it, but it was still one of those where you sold the product and then you just didn't really talk to those people again until maybe the next month when they needed more product. And I didn't like that. There wasn't really any feel. And so I felt like that salesperson. And so even though I was enjoying the products, I would feel guilty talking to people about it, especially if they were like, well, I can't afford it, yada, yada. So then comes Meg. So my coach is Meg, and I went to one of the girls that I played softball with in college is Meg's cousin. And we met at this girl, she was getting married. So we met at her bachelorette party. And after that, we were tagged in some photos after that weekend, whatever. And so I started following Meg. And this is when I was already on my journey with this other company, but I start following Meg and I see that she's working out, which is something I used to love and do all the time. She's eating well, which is something I used to do at one point in time. She was happy. She was just always energetic, and she was a teacher at the time. Like all of these things that I just could relate to her on, but I wasn't relating to her on anymore. And I was like, okay, I'm working with this company, and I don't want this company. I want her company. I want to do what she's doing, because what she's doing, I'm seeing that she's doing and showing up every single day. She's getting to run these accountability groups. She's meeting these amazing women. She's making money aside from teaching that's helping her family. And actually at the time, she was just getting ready to be able to quit teaching because she had been so successful. And so I was just like, okay, that's what I was going for this whole time, but I didn't know it existed. And so while that was kind of a tough thing for me to move, because I was like, what will people think? I did that. And it was the switch that literally changed my life, because prior to that, I was unhappy. I was depressed. I didn't feel confident in myself, which is something that I had pretty much always not really struggled with. And so I was able to switch over, and I did that. And Meg made me feel so confident in doing that. And with that happening, I had the fears of, what will people think? Will they think that I'm trying to sell them something else? Will they just think that I'm trying to earn a buck off of them? And through talking to Meg, through talking and meeting all the women that decided to join me on my journey, I was proved otherwise, because I put my heart in it, and it was something that I could truly show that I was confident in, and that I was seeing results in, and I was becoming me again. And that was huge to me, because I had lost myself. And it was one of those things that I was getting to a point where I didn't know if the relationship that I'm actually still in would continue, because we were fighting all the time. Sorry to get emotional. And we just weren't happy. I wasn't me. And so it wasn't the relationship, and it wasn't the me that I wanted to be. And so through coaching, I got to be me again. And that's something that I will never, ever take for granted. And it's something that is just continued to proven over time, and over the 1.5 years that I've been doing this, how much I love it and how thankful I am that it came at a time when it did. So it just, I've seen, and I've been through a previous company, and I've gotten to work through them and do that. But coaching has been so much different than that, because you literally get to talk with these women every single day. You get to check in, you become teammates, you become accountability partners, you possibly work, thank you, Jessica. You possibly work out with them in the mornings through our virtual workout group. You get to go last weekend. I got to go on a retreat with Meg and Jessica, and which is where if you see the comment, clench your butt cheeks if you're trying not to cry, comes from. So it's just been the most amazing journey, and it's something that I get to do on my time. I'm still a teacher. I spend tons of time. I work in the special education world, so there's tons of paperwork, and I still get to make this work with my schedule. And it's something that I love to do. It's not a part-time job that I have to go home and do. It's something that I get to do. And so the fact that it has completely changed my life, it's kept me in the relationship with the man that I love. It's made me the person that I want to be, and it's made me happy again, and I get to do it when I want to do it. It's just been everything I could have asked for and more, and not to mention the women that I've gotten to meet and become friends with that I otherwise would not have. So that's my story. Sorry, we kind of veered off, but we got back to the point. So thank you for listening, and I hope that if you have any questions, just post them and we will answer them. Thank you.
Awesome. Good job, Lisa. Okay, so since you got a little emotional, I'm going to take it back to like non-emotional things. I want to share just a little bit about what we do as coaches. Lisa really hit on this kind of as she was speaking about what we do, but I want to kind of break it down. Like we do kind of 4 basic things as a coach, and so I'm going to run through them really, really quickly. The first thing is obviously you work on yourself. Like you cannot mentor, inspire others if you're not willing to like inspire and mentor yourself first. And so, part of your investment as a coach is that you get hooked up with badass workout programs, an awesome, nutrient dense shake that has literally like given me my energy back because I did not have that with my hypothyroidism. Like it has changed my energy level drastically because of the nutrients in it, eating plans, things like that. And so you have this like body, program basically that's tailored towards you that you get to do. So the first thing you do as a coach is you work on yourself. You get to start and finish a program with your coach, with your mentor coach. But aside from working on your body, also have to work on your mind, because Lisa did not get where she is today by just working out every day. Like you can tell that she has spent, 10, maybe 15 minutes a day reading. And that's all that we ask, is that you read a little bit of personal development. We have tons of book recommendations. You can even listen to it while you're driving, if you have a long commute to work, whatever works for you. I put in my AirPods and I do it while I'm getting ready in the morning, or, different whenever I'm doing other tasks. Second thing is to share that journey on social media, because you can be doing all of this inner transformation work inside your own home, but if you don't share that with others, no one's going to know that they can do it also. And so we share that journey on social media. I use it as my number one accountability partner. So, my followers are like my greatest people. And if I don't show up, sometimes people are like, where have you been? I've missed you. And it's like such a great accountability. And especially if you are not at your goal yet, which I don't think any of us are ever at our goal. Like I always feel like there's room for improvement. But if you're not at your goal, like coaching is the perfect opportunity. And I know Jessica's going to hit on that here in a little bit, for you to work towards your goal. The third thing that we do is we have conversations with women. Like you can share on social media, but unless you get to talk one-on-one with one person and really get to hear their struggles, get to hear their goals, get to hear what they want to accomplish, what they're hoping to do, that's like where the like bread and butter is in those conversations, because you really get to see like, man, I can make a difference in this woman's life. Because I've had so many conversations where women just literally pour out their guts to me. And I don't know about you guys, but I love that one-on-one connection. Like I love being able to talk with someone about what they want to accomplish, what their dreams are, and those types of things. And that is on the coaching side, but also on like just helping them as challengers too. Because there are a lot of women out there who are hurting, that want what we have to offer. And I always say like health and fitness is not going anywhere. You go look at any statistic, it is not going anywhere. And I think that we have the greatest availability for people to be able to take health and fitness and plug it into their lives. So that's number 3, is that we get to have conversations with women about, is this something that's going to work for them and work for their life? And if it's not, that's okay. Hopefully they find something that will work for them. So it kind of takes that pressure off, that you don't have to be that salesperson. You just have to say, hey, this is what works for me. If you want to try it out, let's do it together. And then the fourth thing is kind of that do it together part, running a challenge group. So do not freak out. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to be a rock star participant in our challenge group. Okay, so your mentor coach or your mentor's coach usually is going to be running a monthly group. You can plug women into that group and they can join you as a participant. So you don't have to right out of the gate be like, oh my gosh, I have to do those 3 things, work on myself, share on social media, have conversations, and run a group. Not at all. You can wait to do that until you are fully ready. Although I noticed that the coaches that do really well, they're ready. Like they do one with me and they're like, that's great, but I want to do my own. Like I want to take ownership over this. And so it's more of a really exciting thing instead of a scary thing to be able to go do your own thing. If you do this efficiently, I think that you can get this done in an hour a day. Sometimes it's not an hour a day. Sometimes it's 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 15 minutes there. You know, like whenever I was teaching, it was, 15 minutes in the morning. It was about a 20-minute lunch break in the middle of the day, and it was a little bit after school. And that is how I built this business to where it is today, which I'll share later on, while I was teaching for 2 years. So with that, I'm going to jump over to Jess, and she's going to share a little bit of her story also.
Okay. Can you hear me? Good? Okay. So I'm Jessica, and I'm sorry for this terrible lighting and that I look like a ghost, but that's the best I could do. I'm a full-time dental hygienist and a dog mom, and current life situation, my husband and I are trying to have a baby. So with that being said, I started coaching like a little over a year ago now. And my main reason, actually before I started coaching, I just joined one of Meg's Fit Tribes. And my main reason for that was to get in better shape because I was 20 pounds heavier than I am right now. And I wanted to get in better shape for when we decided to have a baby, because I knew that my body was not ready for that. Because, I mean, you guys know that our moms. So that's why I joined the group. And then I joined her groups, and I was like, man, I love what she's doing. And as I said, I'm a dental hygienist, and I was sitting in my op cleaning people's teeth thinking about this, which that is not very comforting that your dental hygienist is maybe thinking about something else while she's cleaning your teeth. But I was, and that's like all I could think about. So I went home and I talked to my husband, and I was like, this is on my mind. I feel like I have to do this. I have to at least try. If I fail, I fail, but I have to try. So one of my main fears was the social media part and not being in the best shape myself. I'm like, no one is going to join a health and fitness coach that is not already in shape. It's not going to happen. And much to my surprise, it did happen. People wanted to go along with me on my journey. They did not want someone who was already in shape, I found, which was awesome to me. And my business grew, and it kept growing, and I kept doing the work, and I was like, holy crap, I can do this. And my confidence has grown so much. And even I'm still a dental hygienist. I still do that full time. And I love it more now than I even did then, just because my confidence has grown so much. And even my coworkers there are like, they've almost all, working on one, joined me too. And so they're like, you are just so happy every day. You have the most energy out of all of us. Like, we want what you have. And I also started to get my family more involved. My parents are both very overweight, and so is my older brother. And so they are finally, a year and a half later, just joining me. And my brother has already lost like he's almost to the 20-pound mark. He texted me last night. So I'm so excited about that. So if you ever just think that no one is going to join you because of whatever reason, maybe you're not in shape yet, or just have that fear, people will. You're going to inspire people. You're going to inspire more people than you think you're ever going to inspire. And just always make sure, write down what your why is for wanting to do this. Like, you're all on here for a reason. There's a reason you want to do it, whether it's for yourself or whatever. And your why is constantly going to change the longer you do it. Like, in the beginning, it was purely for me. And now it's branching out for other people, for my future kids, for my brother, for lots of other people in my life. So write down that why, and it's always going to be bigger than any of your fears, for sure. And I think that's about all I got.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jessica. I love hearing these girls' stories. Like, I could listen to them tell them over and over again. So I know some of you guys are probably thinking, okay, that's great. Like, how do you make money though? Or, what is this going to cost me? Am I going to have to fork out a couple $1,000 to start this business? Because those were questions that I had. So kind of the nitty gritty of this, I get to share like the behind the scenes stuff. But getting started, most coaches start off by just earning income from commission. So whenever you help someone get started, you would hook them up with a fitness program, whatever kind of nutritional needs that they need. And most of those range from about $40 to $60 commission. So you can kind of in your mind think, okay, if I help one person, that's about $50. If I help two people in that first month, that's about $100. I don't know about you guys, but that's a week's of groceries for myself, who I eat a lot of food, and my husband, who eats even more food than I eat. So we spend a lot of money on groceries just because we eat a lot. So think about it that way. Like, I get to help women and I can earn this extra $100, $200 if you help 4 people, so you kind of can branch that out in your mind if you're a numbers person wanting to think that through. Aside from that, though, these coaches are coaches on my team. And so whenever you have 2 coaches on your team, you get to open up to this opportunity to be able to make weekly bonuses. The more your business grows, you can have the opportunity to earn quarterly bonuses also whenever they really start seeing success. I'm going to throw out some numbers and you're probably going to be like, what? But some of those quarterly bonuses are at the low end around $800 to $900 a quarter. So that means 4 times a year. On the high end, we're talking like $20,000, $30,000. And so it's just crazy to think of the potential. So I want you to really focus in on this is a business, and a business can grow as long as you're willing to do the work to put into it. And there's no cap on it. My business is continually growing. So you might be thinking, okay, so what does it cost to get started? It is going to cost you the exact same to start as a coach as it does if you were to join one of our challenge groups or one of our fit tribes or whatever we call our boot camps. It is typically around $160, and that will give you 12 months of workouts. So that averages out to about $8 a month for your workouts. 30 meals of a nutrient-dense shake, eating plan. A lot of us have awesome challenge groups where you get the motivation, the inspiration to continue and start and finish a program and see success with a program, because that is where you're going to inspire other people to join you, basically. Aside from that, I really wanted to just kind of hit on, where I would be today. My favorite question to ask coaches is where would you be today if you had never started coaching? Whether it's a month into coaching, a year into coaching, I'm now 4 years into coaching. And it's really hard for me to even imagine what my life would be like, because it is so drastically different now than when I started coaching. Whenever I started coaching, I was single. I was living in an apartment. I was craving something more with my life. And, looking back, if I had never started coaching, I would not be home with my son. I would be rushing off to work, and not saying there is anything wrong with that at all, because this was not my goal whenever I started coaching. But I started growing to realize that I don't do well whenever I am rushed, whenever I'm busy, whenever I have to be at this point at this time, and then imagining throwing a child into the mix. I know that my relationship with my husband would be different. I know that I wouldn't get to be there to, pick Red up from his naps and, those types of things where it blows my mind to think about. We would be in close to $50,000, if not more, dollars of debt, and we wouldn't be dreaming of our dream home, and we wouldn't live the life that we live now. And it all came because I decided I'm going to give this a try. I don't want to depend on a man or someone else to fulfill my dreams. I've heard a quote, I don't know if you guys know Rachel Hollis, but she says something about no one's going to care about your dreams as much as you do. And so I had to take ownership of, if I want to make this happen, if I want to be home with my kids someday, if I want to live a less stressed life and not have to worry about finances, I had to take ownership of it. I wasn't going to depend on someone else to do that. And I made that decision before I even met my husband. And that's the coolest, crazy thing, because you don't know what's coming in your life. And this could be something that not only fills your cup and gives you a huge purpose in life, but also sets you up for this, comfort, I guess, and just a less stressed life is what I think. So with that being said, this is kind of how we're going to conclude. If you have more questions, we are open books. Like, I do not have anything to hide. If you would like to have a one-on-one conversation, if you have more questions, if you want to get down to like the nitty-gritty of like whatever it is, we are not here to, hide anything. So we would love to share with you. I highly encourage you to reach out to the coach that inspired you to be on this call, to watch this recording, and get those questions answered. And we want you to know that, like, if this is something you want to do, you can do it. We can help you. We will mentor you. We will coach you. We will take your hand and go at your pace as a coach. So anyways, hope you guys have an awesome rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you guys later. So thanks for being on.